have a good news for you. Almost a miracle happened in our parish. Remember the grace that we received in our church almost 2 years ago? They're back.
First, I want to thank God, and I thank all of you for this. It was not for all of you, we wouldn't be here. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank God and thank you.
The risen one is alive, and they are alive. And so we are very, very, very glad they are back with us. Welcome with us.
For 16 months, brother and sister Delilah and Gabriel Gray, formerly of Guatemala and now citizens of Dieppe near Moncton, New Brunswick, lived in St. Teresa's church basement. Terrified of being sent back to Guatemala, they were refugees living in sanctuary. Sanctuary is a concept that more and more churches across Canada are turning to when refugees they know, having been refused by the Canadian government, face torture and death if they are forced to return.
When we met in May of '96, I remember the first night when we met with Gabrielle and Delilah, when they related to us their story, their plea for sanctuary, we could see in their eyes that it was really a true story, and there was no question at all. It was unanimous by the council. It didn't take us too long. We didn't have 2 or 3 votes, just one vote, and that was it.
And after the next day, my God heard my prayers, and he calls and he says, yes, you can come.
It was very scary, you know. And then we went to the priest's office, and then they was waiting for us here, and then we came in here, and I remember the first day coming in here, and then we went to sleep there. We slept the first night.
This was the hardest decision that I haven't taken in my life. I had taken the decision hard to become a priest, first of all, not to get married, and took a decision to go to work in South America myself. But the hardest decision I think I took in my life was to receive them in the church, because not knowing what was the consequences. Were we outlaws? What would be the reaction of the government of Canada to come and open the church, and it was the first experience for us.
Let's take a moment to think about where the Sanctuary Coalition is at this point, and where we're going, and what our next steps to get there should be.
As I understood the formation of this group, at the beginning anyway, it wasn't so much that we were against the system or working for systemic change or whatever. There were just very real people that we cared about, that we were trying to help.
I think one of the advantages we've had as a small group is that we're not part of any large official institutional structure. So we do have a freedom to respond, and to respond out of our own consciences and commitments.
To me, the gospel mandate is these have suddenly become our neighbors, and we don't pass by on the other side. I think that's the gospel mandate.
But I think that's what kept
the origin of the Sanctuary Coalition was in 1992, when a group of people from Southern Ontario came together, concerned about the plight of people who've been turned down by the Refugee and Immigration Board, but who were regarded by us as bona fide convention refugees. We came together with a commitment, actually in relation to 23 families, a commitment that we would not abandon them. They were all under deportation orders. We said they should not be deported, and we will not abandon them.
We were a gathering of people from the Southern Ontario region, people in Toronto and Hamilton and Guelph and Kitchener and Fort Erie. But in fact, Sanctuary has sprung up across the country quite independently of us, in New Brunswick, in Montreal and Vancouver. And almost every 3 months I get a call from some little church somewhere that's declared Sanctuary.
Typed up and it's ready to send.
real middle-of-the-road parishes or congregations, and they do it.
The members of the New Brunswick Provincial Council of the Catholic Women's League of Canada, in its 50th annual convention assembled, deplore the conditions under which the Guatemalan refugees Gabriel and Delilah Gray have been forced to go into hiding for a period of almost 1 year as of June 26, 1997.
The United Church neither condones nor condemns sanctuary. There are some times, though, when congregations have found that individuals have not received due process, that we then recognize that congregation has the right to offer sanctuary to the newcomer.
I used to walk in every door in the church and look outside when it was nice, and it was very hard to see when, especially in the summer when it was very nice, everybody was walking in the street, and I have to put a table and look outside to the people, or open a little bit the door and try to take some fresh air, you know. So it was very, very hard. Mentally, it really did affect us.
I would like to see it as a vehicle of second sober thought. If we needed to do it, we do it, and then we sit down with people and say, how together can we get out of this problem? What is wrong that we had to do it in the first place?
For the Grays, their time in sanctuary had a happy ending. A concerted effort from members of many Dieppe faith groups took care of their daily needs while pressure was being brought on government officials to grant them refugee status, allowing them to finally settle in Dieppe with apartments and jobs. However, for many Canadian faith groups, the sanctuary movement is a major indication of just how complex their simple desire to welcome a stranger is.
They must have a really deep, profound faith to be able to go out and reach out, knowing full well that they may be breaking the law of Canada as it stands at the present moment. But they feel that what they are doing is greater than the law. They are obeying God's law, but the law of the land, they feel sometimes it justifies this, and I have to admire them.
The best way to oppose policies is when you seem to not be able to get through any other way, is through acts of witnessing and self-sacrifice, which is, I think, what the church is engaged in the sanctuary movement.
Among the churches that I studied, for example, involved in the U.S. Sanctuary Coalition over the 80s and early 90s, there was a very strong link to a gospel tradition based in biblical reflection, the sort of conscientization type of biblical reflection. And for the group that I looked at, of course, one of the main issues was, what's the relationship between personal faith and then being a citizen and obeying the laws of the land? Where is moral authority? Is it located in the community? Is it located in the government? Is it located in a transcendent God? Is it located in the poor?